You were not first, just so you know. But hello. I love how everyone races to the first finish line. Hello! Hello! Da-da-da. Hold on. It won't let me post this damn sticker. Yeah, one before you. I'm just kidding. Oh, sorry. I'm like, I'm trying to put a sticker. It's not working. I don't know why. So I'm gonna just change what the sticker was gonna say. Okay, you cool cats and kittens. Are you guys having a lovely Saturday? So what we're gonna do today, I've kind of made an executive decision, but that's fine. Hello, Katie, my friend. Welcome in. Welcome in. We're gonna do some soul cycles. So some of that, the new reading, the soul cycles reading. And we're gonna do it via the number game. The new thing we're gonna add to it though is if you are someone who doesn't want to play the number game and you just want the reading, that is what the baby dragons are for. Oh, they disappeared. But so if you are someone who wants to jump the line and not play the numbers game and you just want to get the reading, that is the baby dragon. That is the gift goal. So we are going to do some past life in the soul cycle readings. I do want to pull this up real quick so I can. Uh-oh. So, oh, sorry. Thank you for the heart me. Okay, so what these, I'm going to repeat this like a couple times too while we get people in the room. So welcome in everybody. Welcome, welcome. Thank you for tippy tapping. Thank you for the heart me's. Thank you for all of the shares and all of the likes. I appreciate every single one of you. So I am going to again read. So this reading is free. This reading is led by the spirit game, which means they tell me a number and then you all guess the number. That's how that works. So thank you for the heart me. So this is a new reading that I debuted the other day. Thank you, Annie, for being the first contestant. It's obviously still a work in progress. So thank you. Well, I also get over sometimes would you guys believe me if I said sometimes I struggle calling people out because I don't want to hurt their feelings, because that's factual. I'm gotten really much better about it, but there are totally still some times that I bite my tongue. So I'm getting better about it. There's that. And it's this inner thing as a kid, you know how you didn't want anyone to be mad at you? That's what it is. So healing not healed, friends. Hi, Lucas. So I am going to read to you the new reading. Please know, this is a reading we're gonna play the numbers game for this reading. If you are someone who's like, hell no, that reading sounds way too good and I just want to get it, it's the baby dragon. If you send one of the baby dragons, that will get you the fast pass, oh my goodness, to the top of the line for a reading if you want to jump over the numbers game. So the new reading that I'm going to read it to you because it's over here. So the new reading is called the Shadow and Soul Cycles reading. This reading is designed for those who feel the pull to look inward, to peer into the spaces often left unexplored, and to uncover hidden truths and begin the powerful process of transformation. In the Shadow and Soul Cycles reading, we explore what your subconscious and your guides are trying to reveal, patterns or behaviors rooted in past wounds and survival habits, themes of your soul's journey, and the cycles you've been walking in this lifetime and others, what's calling to be seen, felt, or healed in order to close the loop and free your energy, and guidance to support your shadow work integration. Bum, bum. So, what I will tell you is this is the live version. If you are someone who books this reading privately, it's longer and it includes a healing at the end to boost you on your path of shadow work and inner healing. So that is the difference between the live version and the private version, just so you know. Welcome in, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. If you have never seen me before, hello. My name is Molly. I crawled out of the spiritual closet at the end of February to strangers on the internet. So welcome. It's been a blast. We're gonna, I guess, pull a card real quick to see what the theme of our day is. Hello, Des. Hello, Alaria. Welcome in, everybody. Happy Saturday. I hope you guys are having a blast. This is the Understanding card. Your angel guidance is to examine yourself and your current situation in depth so that you have a clear awareness of the underlying reasons for your challenges and situations. Acquaint yourself with facts about situations and attitudes before you take decisions. Self-awareness is a necessary foundation on which to build strong relationships, friendships, and work. Understanding your personality is a basis for understanding your spiritual self and your mission on Earth. Ask your angel to help you. If that doesn't tie into this new reading, I don't know what does. Bing. Okay, so if you are new here, welcome, welcome, welcome. We are doing a couple different readings tonight, so we're gonna alternate, I think. Unless you guys are like, no, I want to do just one. So I think we'll do a past life check-in if that's something someone's interested in. So what that means is on live, I pull, one of my guides pulls me into one of your most prominent lifetimes. I get to look around, see what's going on, and then I get to see what a prominent soul cycle is from that lifetime. The Shadow and Soul Cycle reading is more geared towards what your spirit guides want to tell you and some of the themes and soul cycles that you are repeating and the lessons you need to learn throughout this incarnation and others. So welcome. If you are someone who doesn't want to play the numbers game, once we get started and you're like, I just want the reading, it's the baby dragon for the gift goal. Okay, so let's start it off. If you are someone who is interested in a past life reading, what I mean by this is I mean that you are giving me permission to go into your energy with one of my guides, and they will show me one of your more prominent lifetimes, what was going on in there, what it kind of looked like, and then we'll see what a prominent soul cycle is that you were learning throughout that lifetime, and that is still continuing in this incarnation. Also, please know there is no judgment or shame. We all got shit to work through. Doesn't mean you're any worse or less than anybody. Just different stuff to work through. Patty, welcome in. Welcome. Okay, so we are about to start the numbers game. I am going to guess a number between 1 and 30. Jessica, thank you for the dragon. That was Johnny on the spot before I even got to the number. Jessica, would you like a past life reading to see what your most prominent, one of the more prominent past lives is? You got it, my friend. Thank you for the dragon. They're really cute. That's the other reason that I picked them. Okay. Jessica, do you give me permission to come on over into your energy and visit so I can see one of your more prominent lifetimes? Gotcha. Okay. Coming on over, Jessica. Give me 1 second. Okay. Ugh. We just got hit with a restriction, honestly. Okay, so I'm leaving it there. I'm going to appeal it, but it's fine. We'll deal with it after this reading. I'm not dealing with it. Okay. So, Jessica, first thing when I click into it is so I was originally brought that this is near water. The other thing that was super prominent is when I clicked in, do you know how it gives me like Incan Mayan vibes? And I say that because when it pulled me into, I'm assuming this is a cave or some kind of rock face, like on a cliff. There's a fire that, I don't know how else to articulate this. It's like there's a fire in this cave and it's lighting up the side of the rock wall. And there's drawings on the rock wall. And the one that's really super significant that's standing out to me, it looks like a specific African deity. And I say that because I've seen it before. It's the way he's drawn is that he has a specific, his body is very particular. He has a longer style face. With a very specific headband, and the way that his hair is articulated is it's sitting up. The other thing that's super prominent, and I want to let you know, is you were a woman in this lifetime. When I look down, there is some kind of tribal piece to this, like you were a part of this tribe. There's a lot of red, brown, gold, like wood type colors. You also have a ton of like bracelets, specifically on your left arm. The thing about that is usually in tribes like this, that was something set aside for people who were considered mystics or oracles. The other thing too is it looks like agriculture, such as like plants, foraging, herbs, were something that were really, oh my goodness, important to you in this timeline. The other thing that's also significant is there's a lot of children. It gives me the feeling of like not only were you a mystic, seer / oracle, I don't know how else to articulate it. You're basically the shaman of the tribe, is what I was just informed of. The other thing too is you had like a really, most people would say this is a hut that you exist in, spend most of your time in, but it's very intricate and it's very well built. This also feels like not rainforest, but it feels like a terrain. I just got Amazonian, is what I just heard. An Amazonian tribe. The other thing that was really significant too is that was definitely looked like a crocodile. Off to the side, and the other thing I think that's super significant about your tribe is that they really focus on being one with nature, their oneness with nature. The other thing too is it looks like in this lifetime though, and I think it's a soul cycle, it is for this lifetime too, is there's a lot of loss and a lot of betrayal from people who are not supposed to do it. That can look like generational trauma through family, emotional neglect from parents, but there's a lot of feeling that you are left on your own and you have to blossom into this thing to stand on your own 2 feet for people to then see your worth. The way this lifetime looks, that sounds terrible. It looks like in this lifetime, there was a kind of tragedy with your parents. I should say the people who brought you into that world. And you really had to fend for yourself for a lot of things. And that created you into being that person that you are. And that is where you learn to step into your power and rely on yourself and know that you are a divine being because you didn't have an option. And I feel like that rising from the ashes is a soul cycle here. But it also links to a betrayal line. I'm just trying to figure out what that is. So give me a second. I think it's a betrayal in the form of people who are supposed to love you and be there for you, and they're not. Nature is really prominent in this. There's a lot of oneness with nature, becoming one with nature, utilizing nature to heal, not only yourself, but others. I feel like in this lifetime that you're currently, this current incarnation, that is still something that you utilize, that nature is something that's healing. What I'm going to tell you is this. With this prominent soul cycle that I see, it teeters on having to rely on yourself, but then overcompensating and becoming hyper independent. That is where we can get caught up in things. So just make sure that when you need help, if you're not asking for help, you need to ask yourself the reason you're not asking for help. Because I think the reason you usually don't is a fear of being let down or being betrayed. Because for your reality in this incarnation, in times that you've needed help, it's created a vulnerability that's been exploited. Okay. I'm going to go back through the comments. So 1 second. Hold on. Hi, Paige. Thank you for the hearts. Thank you for the popular vote, Lucas. Okay. I just wanted to make sure I didn't miss anything from Jessica. Jessica, I'm looking astrally. So the easiest way I can explain it is that, so I see spirit. I can see past up there. So the way it looks to me is it's a picture in picture. So you know when sometimes if you like minimize your YouTube on your phone to reply to a text message and it, you will still be able to watch the video up here, but you can see what you're texting and typing. That's kind of how my third eye functions. It looks like picture in picture. So when I'm looking over here, I'm actually not looking physically, I'm looking up, if that makes any sense. You are so welcome. What's your question, Jessica, my friend? Thank you for the follow, guys. Welcome in. If you have never seen me before, hello. My name is Molly. I crawled out of the spiritual closet at the end of February to start bridging the gap between spiritual connection and genuine human connection because people are angry and hateful and there ain't no reason to be. So, I'm here to help people love themselves and learn about themselves and open and activate their connection to spirit because I am not special. everybody can do this. Everybody can do it. You can be a medium. You can look at your own past lives. You can do all of these things. All of them. Patty, I do the numbers game, or the fast pass for the reading is the gift goal. I'm going to tell you the honest truth that a lot of people don't want to hear. Everybody is a star seed. Everybody. So yes. Yes, you are. Welcome in, friends. Welcome, welcome. We are doing some past life readings and some soul cycle readings. So thank you for hanging out. I appreciate you. Thank you, Isabel. I don't. Honestly, that would be to go and dig through and look for Divine Spark. It would be a different reading. But that is something we could totally do one day, if you would like, my friend. Totally can. Welcome in, everybody. Welcome, welcome. If you have never seen me before, hello. My name is Molly. I crawled out of the spiritual closet at the end of February to start bridging the gap between spiritual connection and genuine human connection. So thank you for hanging out with me. If you are someone who is on your spiritual journey and you are looking to grow and learn, there is a Cord of Dis invite in the beacon link in the bio where you will come join 100+ beautiful individuals who are also on their journey. We also do a bunch of fun stuff in there. So make sure you come check it out if you are so inclined. Tonight we are doing some past life readings. What that means for me is the way that I do this is I go with one of my guides over into your energy and I ask them to show me one of your more prominent lifetimes, what was going on in there, and kind of what it was like, and then the what a prominent soul cycle is from that timeline, and how it still can affect you in this incarnation. So thank you guys for hanging out with me. We are also doing some shadow and soul cycle readings, which I can go over a little bit later, but it seems like everyone's really digging past lives, so we can keep doing that. If you guys ever have any questions, please feel free to drop them in the chat. The numbers game is basically what happens is I ask my guides for a random number we're going to do between 1 and 50. And then I will pop it up in here, and then a countdown for 2 minutes will start. And you guys have 2 minutes to guess the number. If you are someone who does not want to play the numbers game and you want to fast pass yourself into a past life reading, that is what the gift goal is for a baby dragon. So if you are someone who wants to jump to a fast pass and negate the numbers game, you are more than welcome to do that by just sending a baby dragon. All right, so we are going to start the numbers game for the next prominent past life reading. So what I do in these past life readings is I click in with one of my guides who shows me one of your more prominent lifetimes, how it affects you in this one through one of your soul cycles or a couple of them. And then I also gotta get to see what was going on then, and what kind of life looked like then. So that is what we are doing. If you have any questions, please feel free to drop them in the chat, and the mods will answer them as quick as I can. I promise you that I'm never ignoring you. When I am doing a reading, I'm looking up astrally. It's why I'm looking this way, and I very rarely can see the screen. So please know I'm never ignoring you, ever. Ginger, hello. Melly, I saw you too. Hello, my friend. Isabel, welcome in, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. All right, let's get this numbers game on a roll. So what we're gonna, okay, geez, that was weird. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pick a number between 1 and 50. If you are somebody who is interested in a prominent past life reading, please feel free to guess a number between 1 and 50 right now. We have 2 minutes. A number between 1 and 50 if you are interested in a prominent past life cycle reading. Oh, I think someone got it already. Look at you guys go. I'm gonna laugh if it's Annie. I am gonna laugh hysterically. Keep guessing. I'm gonna let it run the whole time. So we got 1:22. So this gives me time to do my speech. If you have never seen me before, hello. It is very nice to meet you. My name is Molly. I started Ether and Ash at the end of February to start bridging the gap between spiritual connection and genuine human connection. So thank you guys for hanging out with me. If you are someone who uses the Cord of Dis, please feel free to go into the beacon in the bio and come join the Ether and Ash Spiritual Collective. We're over 100 people who are growing together, learning together, and just figuring out what it's like to have a physical experience. So come hang. We are all inclusive of everybody. Tonight we are doing some past life readings and some soul cycle readings. If you are interested, that is what we are doing right now. We are playing the numbers game. So what I do is I set a number parameter and I have you guys guess a number. And if you are the first person to guess that number, you're up for the reading. If you are someone who's like, F this numbers game, I'm impatient, I like instant gratification. If you send one of the baby dragons, get you right up there. So that is what we're doing hanging out today. Also, for the subscribers in the room, do not forget that tomorrow is Subscriber Sunday, which is all energy, all day, and that entitles you to your energy reading, healing, or activation. So boom, oh, bam, Katie. Katie was first at 16 seconds. Boom, 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 boom. That was awesome. Good game, my friends. We are going to keep doing it. So I promise if you didn't get it this time, stay and hang. Yes, Katie, my friend, you got it. You got it. Melly, it's okay. We're guessing numbers. We're guessing numbers. Okay. Bam. Congratulations, Katie, my friend. Congratulations. Okay. So, give me 1 second. 1 second. Okay. Katie, do I have your permission to come on over into your energy and look at one of your more prominent lifetimes, what was going on there, and how it can potentially affect you today through a soul cycle? All right, I'm coming over. 1 second. That was so weird. Hold on. Oh my goodness. Okay, so I'm going to tell you what I just clicked into. A couple things. Ready? So the very first thing that happened when I clicked into it is like baked bread, like the smell of warm baked bread, right? And so then the more I start to look around, you're the one person who's making bread. It's the other thing too is this is like I really don't know if this word is offensive, so I highly apologize if it is, but this is like Pilgrim era, like Plymouth Rock type stuff, down to you have on one. How did this just happen again? Listen, if you are the person who is sitting here reporting the live, stop doing it. Get a life. Thank you very much. Okay. You have on one of those, so you have on like a thicker dress. It's one of those heavy dresses, like off the Mayflower boat. Like, I don't know how else to describe it. So you have one of those bonnet things. Thank you. A bonnet. You have one of those bonnets on. They're the white ones that like tie. You also have like the matching, you also have the matching apron. There is a soul cycle. Actually, it's some karmic stuff about, so I will tell you, in this lifetime you are married. The person you are married to is probably the biggest lesson in this lifetime. And I think this is a lesson, a soul cycle in learning that loving yourself in receiving external validation doesn't mean love for you, and it doesn't actually equate to real love. It's giving me the impression that there is a constant longing in this lifetime for emotional availability that's met with anger and callousness. The other thing is dealing with not alcohol for yourself, but dealing with alcohol for, it looks like the person you were married to, but also some other people in this lifetime. The other thing I feel the need to say is I think your main prerogative here was being a homemaker. That's kind of what it feels like. But it feels like in this timeline, you felt like you wanted to do more. You wanted to see more. But in this lifetime, you weren't really allowed to. You were kept in a box. Because it wasn't normal in this time frame for women to make artistic adventures. It wasn't normal for women to just go out and travel. It wasn't normal for women to go out and just be educated. So I just get this impression that you had all this longing to do bigger and better things than the opportunities you were presented in this lifetime. And you were kept in a box by not only societal standards, but what you thought for yourself because of what you've been taught by other people. That is something you still deal with in this lifetime. I can see it. So you've had people in this current incarnation, starting with family members who have told you, you could never do that, you're not good enough for this, all these things. And so you will stop yourself from doing things and put yourself in a box because of the projections other people have put onto you. Don't do that. That is what the biggest soul cycle lesson here is for you in this lifetime, is finding your own self-worth and loving yourself without needing approval from anybody else, without trying to fit yourself into a peg to fit into someone else's life. Because they're showing me that that's something you've done in both lifetimes, is that you will try to morph and squish yourself into being perfect for somebody else when all you need to focus on is being perfect for yourself. Katie, do you got any questions for me, my friend? That's all spirit. I just am the mouthpiece. What I'm gonna say to you is this. I did. Honestly, Alaria, you are not wrong. And bye. Katie, what I want to tell you is this. You are so beautiful and you are full of so much light. Like so much light. Don't let anybody dull your light, dim your light. Don't do it for other people. So, if no one's told you this today, I love the crapola out of you. And so does the whole Ether and Ash collective. So if you ever are in a space where you can't get away from negative people who project onto you, you are always welcome to come here, my friend. You are always welcome to come here. I'm sending you a big etheric hug, my friend. You are so welcome. A dragon. Jesse, thank you for the dragon. It's a little dragon. They're so cute, dude. I can't stand it. They're so cute. Also, we didn't win the appeal this time. We won the first appeal. We did not win the second one. So that is a bummer. Yes, Alaria, you are so right. Jesse, my friend. Hello. Thank you for the dragon. Katie, usually the time that I don't really do health questions, but on Sundays and during energy, like etheric healing days and stuff, I can like pick up on some health stuff. Most definitely. Most definitely. Jessie Lee, my friend, thank you for the dragon. Do I have your permission to come into your energy and look at one of your prominent cycles? Okay, my friend. Oh, that's different. Okay, so I just want to tell you the first couple of things I clicked into was smoke. Then I clicked into battlefield. Then I clicked into what looks like Mark Antony, Cleopatra. So it's like it's giving like fight to the death feel. So hold on. I'm just going to tell you what it looks like. So when I click into this, there is a lot of smoke, but it's not just, it's like funeral pyre smoke. It's also frankincense, myrrh, funeral rites, funeral pyre. The other thing that's really significant is the architecture. So it's, you know how on the pyramids they have those bricks that build the pyramids? This is like what stuff is made out of, but it's also very, it gives me, I just was told Athens. It gives me the feeling of being in Athens, but it's ancient architecture. It is not something that you would normally see present day. The other thing I feel that's really significant is there's a lot of greenery. I also get the impression that holistic medicine, like plants, herbology, was something really prevalent in this lifetime. I feel like there's a plant link to this lifetime. Like you are also a plant person in this incarnation. Hold on. The other thing I really want to say is the prominent colors in this lifetime are gold, aquamarine, and that's a scarab. That was a gold scarab. But this is when society, I think, started to merge into each other. And there was the possession of like ancient artifacts. I also just want to say that you were someone who was in higher status of this time frame. Like you have like all these treasures and these gems, and rubies are something that are also significant. Garnet ruby-esque. The thing is there's a very big like oppression. Oppression is a really big soul cycle. And when I say oppression, I mean a cycle of power and control. And so this is a hard one, because I just don't want to, how do I say it? So what I mean by that is that when human beings are controlled by other people, what I mean by that is abused, oppressed, belittled, degraded, that can do one of two things to a person. It will either crush them and make them that exact thing, or they will use it as fuel to become bigger and better than they ever have been. This is what that soul cycle looks like for you in this time frame of how the lesson is how the oppression and the power and control of how you let it affect you. I was just told, I don't know if you have ever heard the story, The Tale of Two Wolves. It's the beast that you feed. So it's the same thing. It goes back to free will of the choice you make with the circumstances given to you. it looks like in this lifetime, it may not be as significant, but I definitely can see that there are projections that have put on you since you've been a kid of who you should be, what you should do, who you should think. And I also get this hard feeling that there are definitely some people in your life that think you owe them things. You owe them love, you owe them attention. And it looks like you might have like one of those, well, they're this person, so I have to do it type of things. And this is one of those breaking the oppression chain and having boundaries. Being a people pleaser is a cycle that we will continue to repeat until we can learn to pick up the boundaries on it. The other thing that's really significant is animals. There is like a lot of them. Not only were you someone who had access to like, I don't know, like all the good things in life of the time, but you also had a like whole bunch of exotic animals. The one that is really prevalent to me is a cheetah. Just gonna say that. So I don't know, it might be worth it to check out the prevalence of a cheetah as a spirit animal. I also want to say this. I want to add in that I think there is, along with that oppression cycle, I think there's a resource scarcity cycle. What I mean by that is it looks like in this lifetime that there like is abundance of resources. Like I don't know how else to put this. You have so much like gold, money, jewelry coming out of your butt cheeks, like it's not even funny. But the way the soul cycle looks is it looks like you have lifetimes where you have an abundance of resources, and then resources are hard to attain. An abundance of resources are hard to attain. And I think the lesson that they're trying to show in that is how to monitor and be your own resource. Because they're giving me the impression that you seek, tell me if I'm wrong, if you have an idea of something, you'll need to run that idea by a bunch of different people to make sure they think it's a good idea. This is where the stepping into your power and breaking those oppression chains of the projections put on you by other people come in. Okay. Let me go back through the... Thank you, RJ Dupe, for the rose. Thank you, my friend. Thank you, Alaria. Thank you. Hello, Lemons. Jess, you're welcome. Do you have any questions for me? Is there anything you would like me to clarify? I would be more than happy to do that. Ryan, hello, my friend. Welcome. All right. Hello. You're the other Molly's fiance, right? Right? I think so. I think. Yes. Boom. I do remember things sometimes. Sometimes I remember them. I know, and I got to talk to you that time. I do remember. Thanks for coming to hang out with me. I feel privileged that you sent me your first gift. How would I be able to fully pull away from being too fed in? Do you mean pull away from people? Do you mean pull, like people who are pulling you in type of thing? Is that what you mean? Like the certain people you feel you can't get away from? So the easiest, it's not easy. I'm taking that back. Because it's not easy. So the easiest thing to do is twofold. Sometimes you can get away from these people, and sometimes it's just not realistic. So in one of two ways is this. If you are in a situation where you have negative people around you that you just say you can't just tell them to F off and run away, work on your energetic protections, right? So shielding, cleansing, all of those things. If it's someone that, this is the way, and this is a Molly hot take, so please don't get offended. when I have to deal with people and say they start to act a certain way that I don't like, and I have to ask myself a couple questions. Do they pay my bills? Do they rub my back? And do they help take care of my dog? And if the answer is no to all of the above, then they can get to step in. Those are like the easiest ways that I've learned to put down boundaries. So as far as the negative people, what I will tell you is this. The more inner work you do, the more work you do on yourself, they'll scatter. Because the more you raise yourself up here, they only have one choice. Raise up or stay where they're at. And the more you continue to go here, they'll fall away. You'll notice people will slowly peter out. The more you work on yourself and the more you grow and the more you focus on your growth as a person, you will, you'll start to realize that they just scatter, kind of like bugs. That was not my analogy. He thinks that was funny. Okay, hold on one second. I don't want to restart the live, but we might have to because it's restricted. Dragons. Thanks, Lemons. You are so welcome, Jesse. Side note, friends, if you guys have a cord of dis, feel free. Thanks for the baby dragon. They're so freaking cute. If you have a cord of dis, make sure you guys come hang out in the Ether and Ash Collective. It's a blast, especially if you're someone who's learning about all this stuff and you want to keep growing. That's like the best place to learn. So like the best place to learn. Ryan, my friend, are you doing the past life or is Molly doing the past life? Yeah, Melly, I'm gonna, and there really is Alaria. Oh my God, please tell me, did anyone see the TikTok I posted in the Cryptid channel? Because I was cackling to myself. Okay, you got it, my friend. Okay, Ryan, do I have my permission to come over into your energy and visit? Yeah, Melly, let the haters hate, man. That's what I have to say. Maybe we'll restart later, but for now, we'll just let the haters be hating. You're not gonna kill my vibe. She really is. Dinky's a rock star. Everyone give the mods a shout out. Everybody give the mods a shout out. They're amazing. Okay, I'm coming over. 1 second. Sorry, squirrel. And I'm almost out of tea, so there's that. Okay. Thank you for the talking. Okay, I'm gonna stop because this is what I've been doing. I've been like trying to get all this information, but it goes too fast. So I'm just gonna start spewing it out. So the very first thing when I clicked in with him is this. Do you know those old boats? I don't even know the word. It's from Norse times. Like, well, I was just told Finland, so my bad. Okay, so we're in Finland. And it's those boats. It's like, you know how the Asir tribes, right? So one of the 72. That's, okay. But I think this is like descendant of, because it's definitely Finland. The other thing is being on this boat, it's like one of those hand-carved boats. Like, you know the ones that you would see in like Elden Ring, or Skyrim, that they're like those really, like the architecture to it. The thing that's also really significant is it has that dragon carved out of wood on the front of it. And the other thing I need to say too is on the back side it has a, that's odd, for this time frame, but I'm going with it. It has a mermaid. But I don't think she's there, and I think her symbolism is something different in this context. One second. It stinks like really bad alcohol, BO, in low tide. The other thing I feel that's really dumb to say, but like the deck of this boat is super slippery. Like, you know how when you're someone who's walking on wet stuff that sometimes if your shoe hits it right, it squeaks? There's just like a group of like, just like, not to be rude, but like smelly men, like all here. Raven. I think there are sometimes that's different. I think this is where you may have come in, this is going to be weird. I think this is where you may have come in contact at one point with a deity. And I think they are around for you for this incarnation. And I think sometimes you dream of him. I also will go out on a limb and say that there have been some times throughout your life, especially when you were younger, where you would hear howling wolves and there was no reason to hear it. I also think that you notice crows and ravens a lot, and I think you notice that they seem to just appear. And usually they don't appear quietly, they appear loud. That's the other thing. In pairs. I've never seen a soul cycle like this. I want to tie this into a fear of being seen, but it's a fear of being who you are, for fear of judgment and safety. So what I'm going to say is this. In this soul cycle, it looks like, okay. It looks like you were someone who was really into the arts. And I specifically think it was along the lines of like poetry, like the Eddas. And I think due to the time and the way your family and your tribe needed you to be, that was not someone you could safely be without judgment and possibly harm, or being, I was just told, exiled, right? So the way I think this cycles into this life is that I think this sucks. So in this incarnation, right, we have societal norms that are like, men have to be this way. Men can't cry. If you cry, you're the P word. If you just suck it up and you know, whatever. And it's the same for women. Like, it's grow a pair of balls or callus your clitoris. And it's like, no. You should be able to be who you are without fear of judgment. And this goes for anybody who's a man. But I think there are, I want to say, like, this is going to sound weird and I'm not judging you. It's just that I think there is a soft, sensitive side of you, which is your feminine side, that likes to try to come out, because that's the whole part of like equilibrium for us, is balancing our divine feminine and our divine masculine. And if you have a soul cycle where you have to learn how to balance that, it will forever be hard. Don't be ashamed of, I'm just going to say this. It's not weak to cry. If anything, there's strength in crying. There is no weakness in explaining your feelings to somebody else or telling someone how things affect you or feel. That is strength. To be vulnerable like that is strength. To tell the truth and speak your story with authenticity and courage is strength. Why society looks down on it is because other people can't do it. And so they're filled in shame and guilt that they can't do it. So they would rather project it onto you. So what I'm telling you is this. Don't wear a mask, because in this lifetime, you portrayed yourself. I'm just going to be honest. In this lifetime, you have a huge beard too. I just want to say, like, a huge beard. Like, it's it's like beastly. Like it's like, huh. And then you have 4 braids that go down from your beard. And the thing is like in this lifetime, you're the epitome of this squishy teddy bear, but you will only be that teddy bear for certain people. And there are so many more people that would have benefited from you being your true self. So what I'm going to tell you is in this lifetime, don't hide who you are because there's a fear of being seen. Does that make sense? Sorry, I know that was fast as like fast. And please, if you have any questions, Ryan, please just let me know. Molly, don't worry about it. What I do want to say to you is I know that you are in the court of Dis. And what I would ask you to do, if you're so inclined, is I'll double check. I think it's the Shadow Work channel, but there are some graphics about healed divine masculine, healed divine feminine, and things like that. And I think Ryan might benefit from just reading those if he's so inclined. So that would also explain more to the divine feminine thing. My word. I love that. Love that. You are so welcome. Thank you for allowing me in your energy. I appreciate you, Alaria. Yeah, he hangs around. I had a feeling you do. I think, Ryan, just like Alaria said, it's worth, if you are someone who wants to ever explore that, I would look into him. Because, yeah, that was, I think it's just one of those, so they definitely said one of the 72 tribes, and that could be anybody. And they also gave me descendant of a tribe. So, the way it seemed to me is that there was the wild hunt. Yeah. Ryan, I had a feeling. You weren't imagining it. We're not. What they're giving me the impression of is that he is a descendant of an Asir tribe in that lifetime, and there was relocation due to like famine or some kind of plague or something to a different area. And I think it was by boat. It seems like they kind of Christopher Columbus themselves over there, is what it feels like. That's what it looked like when they, oh my goodness, were showing it to me. Whew. Thank you for letting me in your energy, Ryan. I feel honored. Thank you, my good sir. All right, Molly, my friend. Twinning. You're so welcome. Thanks for hanging out with me. Molly, do I have your permission to come visit you? Okay. Side note, I don't know, tomorrow's Subscriber Sunday, so make sure if you're a subscriber that you also come hang out tomorrow for your healing activation, or your vibe check. Oh. Whoa. So right when I clicked into it, the very first thing I started hearing was music, but it was very different music. It's like a harp. right? And so then the next place that I like am brought to is a stage. Like that's why I just went like what, because it's there's like a big, all the seats are red velvet, I should tell you, like that burgundy red velvet. And then there's a stage and all the lights are on and there's black curtain hanging down and black curtain hanging on the side. And there is a woman playing the harp, which is you. The other thing that's really significant is you have super really pretty long hair. I'm just going to point that out there real quick. But you are sad. So this is where we're at. So in this lifetime, I get to see you around the age of 40, and you are looks like a really well-renowned harpist. The thing is that you would kind of be considered a spinster because you don't have a husband, you have no kids, and you live at home with 4 cats. The other thing is that you have kept to yourself your whole life, again, because of the projections that other people put on you and the box that you kept yourself in. You had parents who wanted you to be a musician since the day you were born, and they harped on you being this musician, and you couldn't imagine letting them down because that's all they wanted. But it's not what your heart wanted. This isn't what you wanted to do. To be very honest, it looks like you wanted a bakery. A little French bakery, to be more specific. You seem to have a thing for macaroons and croissants. The other thing too is music is super important to you. I really think music is still important to you in this lifetime. What I'm going to tell you, your soul cycle is this, because there's a couple, but this is one of the most prominent ones. One of the lessons of your soul is not letting other people tell you who to be. Don't be someone because this person wants you to be this, or you turn into this person because this person needs this, or you become this person because this person needs you to be that person today. It's really hard for you to look at yourself and go, this is what I want, because in doing that you feel selfish, and that it could be the wrong thing because it's your idea. I also get the impression from this soul cycle that you are also someone who will come up with an idea and you will overthink it to the point where it's a great idea that you've now convinced yourself is stupid and never going to work. The other thing too is I get the impression that you're someone who comes up with a lot of good ideas, but you don't share them anymore because people used to shut them down and shame you over them. That's stupid. That'll never work. And it's because they weren't willing to think outside of the box. I think the impression I get with this is that you are someone who likes to speak your mind in this lifetime, and that's a big cycle, is being opinionated and authentic to being meek and closed-mouthed for safety purposes. What I will tell you is in this lifetime, you lived in a lot of anxiety because you weren't living your soul's true purpose and you were holding yourself in a box. So I can see that you are also someone who deals with a lot of anxiety in this incarnation, and it's because your soul is not doing what it wants to do. And that leaves us that untethered, I want to crawl out of my own skin, because you're just not in alignment with what your soul wants. You're in alignment with what the world and society wants from you. I also think in this lifetime, the other thing that I want to say about this is that overcoming the need to be the center of attention, because you deserve to be. It's not selfish to be recognized and honored for talents you carry. Don't block a blessing. The other thing I feel the need to say is that gold, silver, and purple are very prominent. Don't be afraid to be who you are because someone might not be able to swallow it. Not everyone is everyone's cup of tea. Does that make sense? Yes, be the gremlin. Be the gremlin. So what I'm actually going to tell you is this. I usually don't do this, but I'm gonna because I like you guys. The life that you two are sharing right now is not the first life that you've shared together. That's really cool, Molly. That's really cool. Oh. You guys are here to teach each other how to be yourselves because you two, this is the closest you guys are ever going to hear me get to a love reading. You two have a line that you both are the people you can take your armor off in front of, so do it. And then once you start taking your armor off in front of somebody, you'll be more confident to continue doing it with other people. But you got to start somewhere. Do you have any questions for me, Molly? Ooh, sorry, I'm burpy. Peg, thank you for the finger heart. Sing like nobody's watching, my friend. That's like the best thing I can say. And live your authentic life and don't keep yourself in a box because someone tells you to. And utilize each other. I'm going to be this person, okay? Utilize each other. When the world gets scary, it's not you against each other, it's you two against the world. So don't forget that. Don't forget that at all. Not even a little. Peg, I'm doing a prominent past life and soul cycle. We're doing it by the number game or the baby dragon gift. If no one's told you guys today, what can you do to honor your past life? Be the same thing. It's the same thing for you is don't put yourself in a box and don't be afraid to be who you are because you're afraid that somebody's going to judge you. The only person who can judge you at the end of the day is you. And the only thing you should be concerned about was, were you a good person today with the best intentions? That's it. We overcomplicate it a lot. Exactly. We listen and we don't judge. Thank you for the roses, Vanessa. Ryan, can I ask you a super odd question? Do you like poetry? You are so welcome, Molly. I'm so glad you made your way here. So weird. So all I'm going to say to you is sometimes I keep getting this for you and tell me if I'm overstepping my bounds, but What I will say is sometimes I think some of us have a hard time expressing our feelings. And sometimes some of us have a hard time articulating how we feel, right? Because it's one of those, I don't know how to put it into words. And if it's okay with you, what I'm going to do after live is I'm going to share some little blurbs with Molly to send over to you. And I just think you're going to start reading some stuff that speaks to your heart. And I think it will help you understand yourself better, if that makes sense. RS, thank you for that. Hold on, Peg, 1 second. I will re-up the gift goal. Uno momento, por favor. I just think sometimes we know that there's a way to articulate how we're feeling and we don't know. And sometimes there are certain things we can find in poetry that'll help us. So I'll make sure I send them on over to Molly. And I think, Molly, they'll be helpful for you too, my friend. Oh, I love that. Good, then you'll love the ones I send you. This is gonna sound, I'm telling you one of my deep dark secrets, okay? I have an entire Pinterest board. It has over 1,000 saves on it, and it's all poetry, quotes, all these things that I just love. That's what I do late at night, or when I'm in my feels and I can't articulate my feelings, is I go through and I find poetry that speaks to how I feel. It's like music. Sometimes music speak where words can't, you know? Thank you for the rose. Thank you guys. I appreciate every single one of you. You guys rock. Peg, thank you for the baby dragon. They're so freaking cute, dude. Yes, we did. Oh my God, we should. I'm going to add you on Pinterest later. Oh. I love my poetry friends. I love that. Don't forget, movie night is on Monday too. Molly, you and Ryan are both so loved, my friend. Come hang out whenever you would like. And if you guys ever have questions, come send them to me. Okay. All right, Peg. Peg, hi, Amanda. Are you looking for the past life reading, the Express to jump the numbers game? It's this gift goal. It's the little baby dragon. Okay, Peg, do I have your permit? Actually, Peg, would you be mad if I went pee real fast before we did this? Thank you, Peg. I appreciate you. Okay, thank you. Be right back. 2 seconds before I float away. Hi, No. Welcome in, my friend. Welcome. Okay. All right, Peg. I am coming over to visit, my friend. Oh, we've gone Celtic. 1 second. Okay, so very first couple things that I want to just say are very prominent. Like first when we swooped in there, Hecate. Next thing we went to was a lot of Celtic symbolism. Specifically, this is a certain type of knot that means something, but I couldn't tell you what it is. I've seen it before though. The other thing too is there's a tartan involved. It's the thing is I can't tell if it's black or dark blue, but it has it has red and yellow stripes in it. And it looks like there's like some heather gray and either really dark navy blue or black in it. I just want to tell you, you are a man, 100%, because this is you with a kilt on. The other thing that's like significant is the walls are stone. It's like we're in a castle and it's cool, it's wet, it's damp. And if I know this sounds stupid, but when I astrally touch it, it's like cool, damp, like stone. The other thing too is when looking outside, it gives me like Scotland vibes. Because it's lots of rolling hills, but the fog is like, it's so thick. It's like a shield over the land. You were a caretaker in this lifetime. For like it's like an estate. There's multiple facets to this. There's like the castle with the stone, and then if we go outside, there's like a stable farm area. The other thing is that you're like, it's like surrounded with like trees. Jack, I can hear you. It's, sorry, 1 second. There's really tall trees that like surround, I don't want to call it a compound, but like, I don't know what else to call it. Stone is really important. Like, I get the impression that stone masonry was something important in this life. I also get the impression that you, in this life, are still someone who likes to work with your hands. Not necessarily on stone masonry, but I get that you're crafty. The other thing, too, is one of the soul cycles that I can see with this is around relationships. And the easiest way I can describe it is this. It looks like in the beginning of this lifetime, you had significant loss. Like tragic loss, like family loss of like wife and children in a fire. That in turn caused some reclusivity for the rest of your life. Choosing to sit in that pain and grief and guilt, kind of like self-sabotage, like you deserved it. That looks like a soul cycle that still repeats on. I'd say sometimes you still do a recluse where you still pull yourself and keep yourself with a wall between people, because of the same cycle. There's some hurt, abandonment, and tragic loss and betrayal that's happened early on. What I'm going to tell you, one of your biggest cycles is this. And we all have this option of, we are all born full of light. And the longer we spend in a life cycle making certain choices, it will diminish our light. And as time goes on long enough, if we don't rectify those things, we'll lose it entirely. And what I can see is that change has already shifted in this lifetime, but it didn't for the last one. So I will tell you that you are already doing way more progress than it looks like you've ever done in this soul cycle, catching it before it's too late. And also, I think you are also someone whose kindness has been taken as a weakness and exploited. And therefore, that can make you a little jaded and callous sometimes. I also get this impression of you look like it's a carryover of hyper independence, because whenever you have asked people for help, it's burned your ass. So what I will tell you is, if you do find yourself in this incarnation needing help and you don't want to ask for it, I want you to ask yourself why. Oh, I can totally see that. That makes sense. What I said about the change in this lifetime is that it looks like you've noticed some things about yourself that you've decided to break out of the box and grow from. That makes sense. It seems like when you have asked for help, it doesn't usually work out very well. Do you have any questions for me, Peg? What is it? What can I help clear up? Oh, so that's not a part of this reading. So all I do in this reading is I click in to see what one of your more prominent lifetimes is, what it looked like, and what some prominent soul cycles are, from that connecting to this lifetime. So, I didn't do any future predictions for this lifetime, and everybody has a bunch more lifetimes to live, so I can tell you yes on that one. If we are here on Earth, we have not ascended far enough to not have any more. It looks like there was, yeah, I'm going to. It looks like there was loss of family in that time. So if that is something that carried over, the change is the growth from it and how to grow from it and not let it consume you. That is the soul cycle. Melly, thanks for the dragon. Thank you for the dragon, Melly. Melly, do you want your, you want one of the past life readings? Okay, you got it, Melly. You're next, my friend. I just want to make sure Peg, I just saw that too. I just want to make sure Peggy doesn't have any more questions before I click out of here. Thank you for allowing me into your energy, Peg. I really appreciate you. Thank you, my friend. Yeah, Annie, you're a rock star, my friend. You guys came up with this idea and you killing it. Okay, Melly. You're so welcome. Melly, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to click into your energy. I'm going to look at one of your more prominent lifetimes, what was going on, and what some of the soul cycles were from that lifetime that are repeating in this one. Does that sound okay, Melly, my friend? Okay. Do me a favor, after Melly's reading, I'm going to restart the live because people are reporting us again. So, and I didn't win the appeal. So if you are someone who wants to send a baby dragon, let me finish this reading with Melly. I'm going to shut the live down and then restart it up again to get rid of the restriction. Okay. All right, Melly, I'm coming over, my friend. That was on point. The very first thing I clicked into was Navajo. So hold on a second. Beadwork. It's white. It's white, black, red, and yellow. The other thing that's really significant are the mountains in the sky in this. I think that was a spiritual part of this. This was a very spiritual tribe. It also looks like plains, like plain land. Does that make sense? Is that what it's called? The plain lands? Does anyone know what I mean by that? And it's, that sounds terrible. And there's really big mountains off into the distance, but only one of them has a snow cap. So the other thing I feel the need to say to you is as I click into you, you are out like actively in the woods doing something, and you have one of those, I don't know how else to say it. You know how in Native culture they have those like baskets they like wrap the baby up in and then they strap it to their back and carry the baby so that way the baby's safe, comfortable, and warm. That's exactly the outfit that you have on. Like, I don't know. It's like, it's one of those things that also doubles as their crib. They're really pretty. I don't know the exact word in indigenous culture for it. Nature in this lifetime is something super significant to you, and I can see it carries over into this lifetime. The other thing is, dependence, and independence. So it looks like in this lifetime, It looks like in this lifetime, you had a romantic partner who passed. And so you are supported. It takes a village. You are supported by this village and, like the elders in the tribe within the village. The way you contribute is through berries are super significant. Like I consistently keep seeing you picking berries. So foraging is something that's really, it also gives me the impression that you have a knowledge about certain things like that. And that is one of the things you bring. But when I click into this soul cycle, it looks like there will be a dependency on other people, whether it's a dependency on a tribe, a person, a family unit, and then that is taken. And then you are left basically to become a phoenix out of the ashes and needing to reinvent yourself in a way that you can take care of yourself in a way that you've never had to. The other thing too, Melly, is I wouldn't be surprised if in this lifetime you are somebody who is fascinated by fire. And what I mean by that is that you stare at it. So like if you ever go to a bonfire, you would be one of those people that is aimlessly staring into the bonfire and people might call you weird. The other thing I want to say is this. You have a tendency in this lifetime to, the way it was presented to me, is quick to anger. It looks like it looks like in this lifetime there was a lot of being told what to do, how to do it, who you should be, and you just fell into that mold because that's what was expected. And once you were able to break out of it, it seems like there became a resentment to people telling you what to do, almost like a rebellion. And it looks like that's a cycle that occurs, is you will conform to who you need to be, and then once you see the cycle for what it is, you break out of it and rebel, and like step into your power and blossom. But what it looks like the cycle is the time it takes to do it between in the incarnation, like not losing your light before it's too late. The other thing that I want to say is very significant is there's been a hawk. Like the whole time I've been looking around, there's been one hawk that I can consistently see. And I will also tell you in this lifetime, the stars were very important for you. Dinky. So Melly, what I will tell you is always remember how powerful you are and that you always have the answers you need. And don't be ashamed to ask somebody for help. It doesn't mean you're stupid or less than to ask for help. Does that make sense? It's like a reward. Are you juking me for treats? No. You guys need to leave each other alone over there. What do you mean by that, Melly? That's cool, Alleria. Thank you for that. That's super neat. It's validation, my friend. I don't, resources could be a pile of things. Love, money, food, shelter, emotional support, all of those things. Resources wouldn't be just money, and being dependent on somebody isn't just money either. We can be dependent on somebody emotionally, physically, a multitude of ways. Do you have any questions for me, Melly, my friend? Look at you guys tapping. Jack was getting picked on over there. That's why he was acting that way. So I just had to move some things around. He just settled down, so he should be good now. They really like to steal his bed. Much better, Jenny. Much better. Way better. Hugely better. Amazingly better. Dinky did see him. It was super funny. Love yourself, Melly. That's like the best thing I can say to you. In that soul cycle, it's realizing that the power is in you. You don't need to find it in anybody else. You don't need to find love or validation in anybody else. It's in you. It's in you, my friend. You're amazing, Melly. We all love you here, my friend. We all love the crap out of you. All right, friends. I'm going to back out of Melly's energy. And since someone is rude and reported the live again, I am going to close it down and reopen it right back up. So stay tuned because I'll be right back and we're either going to do more numbers game or more baby dragons. Up to you guys. I will be back in 2 seconds.